Hello again. Welcome to another episode of the Kezia Hinds Show, where we share inspiring stories and have meaningful conversation. I am your host, Kezia Hinds, and today I'm very happy to have Stracey Grenville, an esteemed educator from the community of Linden, Guyana, who's had over 20 years of teaching experience. Like me, Stracey migrated to Canada and is not only an author, but also delivers the Word of God at her local church. Recently, when I attended the church, she delivered a very powerful sermon that touched on the theme of the waiting room, where she drew inspiration from the biblical story of Hannah. Her message resonated deeply, highlighting the uncertainties that we face while we are waiting on answers and that mental challenge that accompanies this experience. Tracy's insight reminds us of the importance of patience and faith during these times. Join me this week as I explore her journey, her reflection on mental well being, and the relationship between the mind, the body, and the spirit. Let's get started. All right. So thank you, Sister Tracy, for joining me today. And as always, you look very fabulous.
Thank you so much.
All right. So
Thank you.
can you tell me a little bit about your journey and what got you here today?
For me, I am from Linden, Guyana. That's where I born and I grew in a place called Silvertongue in Linden. And where I grew up, there used to be a lot of smoking and so on, people on the streets. But, you know, I had a very strict mother
Okay.
who ensured that she instilled discipline. And so I taught at Mackenzie High School. I taught also at the St. Aidan's Primary School. I would say that I have 25 years in the teaching profession. That's my profession. And also, I really love God, so I am a minister of the Word of God. And because of my parents, they instill such values, and I had a community of people because I am from a family of 11, and so I am the youngest one.
You talked about your teaching experience in the classroom and then teaching inside of the church. How was that transition from teaching help you to author this very powerful, thought-provoking book, The Mind Matters?
Well, I always like reading,
Mm-hmm.
and also I always love writing, going to school. It was always my desire to write my own book. And so I spent time asking God, what do I write on? And the topic and the word that came up was the mind. And that was is something that I really was fascinated about, because if you look at the mind, is that we're living in a time where it is such a challenging time, such uncertainty, so much of chaos. And so, even though we are living in such chaos, we still have to dream big. We still have to go about with our daily lives. And what will matter the most is how we manage our mind, because we can become a victim of our mind, or we can either become a victor. It is from your mind where you make all your decisions. So one decision can ruin your life. So I think it's best to write about the mind matters, because it was a really, really, it determines your uprising and your downfall.
Mhm. And what would you say is the correlation between the mind, the spirit, and the body, and how um, can one affect the other if not taken care of correctly?
The three work hand in hand, because we are spirit beings. And so, according to the Bible, we are spirit being that lives in a body, and it's your mind that makes the decisions, your mind that makes the choices. And so your spirit man is the one that communicates with God. And when it comes to the body cannot go where the mind doesn't take it. or we cannot move without a thought or a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why it's important that you train your mind or groom your mind to think about things that are positive, things that are pure, things that are honest. That's why the Word of God says in Philippians, think upon things that are true, think upon things that are lovely, think upon things that are honest. Because as you think upon these things about honesty, it takes you to the place where it changes your feel. Let's say you're worrying, and and you begin to think upon something that happened, immediately changes your feelings. Let's say you're feeling distress, and so you don't want to move around, you don't want to get up, so you feel so depressed, and so your mind is so troubled and so stressed. But in a second you say, I don't want to be at this place, I want to think about something else that is positive. And the minute you begin to think about moving your mind away from the worries and think about, I'm going to go out and take a walk and just enjoy nature, immediately your feelings change and your body come in alignment with your mind, and you begin to move towards accomplish being happy. So the the body depends upon the mind to take its places. And that is why we need to be careful, or we must be able to manage our mind that it will take our body in the right place.
Why do you think it's become so challenging for us as humans to think on these pure thoughts and think on these good thoughts, especially in times like these?
As I said, one bad decision
Mm-hmm.
can ruin your life. Think about it. If you always been stressed out, you always been worried, you cannot accomplish anything. You cannot fulfill your purpose being worrying, being stressful. So when you begin to think upon things that are good, it keeps you out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
When you begin to think about things that are love, it gives you a pure mind. So it's important that you think upon these things so that you can live a fulfilled life, because you always in the place of, because of the world, you always in a place of worrying, stressing, and depressed. You know, you cannot go forth in life. So it's important that for your own interests, you think upon things that are going to keep you going, that is going to keep you occupied, that is going to keep you, that is going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve in life.
As much as we think these thoughts, there is that word belief. So I just read an extract from the book. It says, when I redirected my thinking, one word stood out, and that is believe. The subconscious mind believes whatever you tell it. And when I worried about my situation being too much and that I might not get past it, my mind believed it. And so my body came into alignment with my thinking.
Exactly. Whatever you tell your mind believes. If you say I'm a failure, your mind believes that. If you say I'm a winner, your mind believes that. And so, based upon what you tell your mind accepts it, and that is what the mind goes with. So, it's you believing in yourself. And as I said, if you believe that you can do it, right away your body comes in alignment with your thinking, and you move towards a journey of accomplish what you want to accomplish.
And I attended a local church and I saw you on the podium. And on that particular weekend, you spoke about Hannah and being in the waiting room and how important it is in the waiting room. I know that is the room most time of uncertainties. We don't know if to go left or if to go right. What mindset should people establish or try to establish while in that waiting period?
It's important that you have a positive mindset. Faith. That's what that is a good word. Whatever I am believing to happen, or what I am trusting God to happen, it will come to pass. And so, because of your faith, it's going to energize you to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. If you don't have the faith, definitely you're going to want to give up. So in the waiting room, it's important that you focus, and and keep your faith up. Sometimes it's difficult, I'm going to tell you, in the waiting room, because sometimes it's a place of uncertainty. You don't know what would happen. So to have that faith sometime, let's face reality, you know,
Can be
it's
very tough,
difficult. It's
yes.
difficult because the situation is before you, and especially if you're working with time. The
Mm-hmm.
time is drawing nigh and you're not seeing changes. Sometimes you want to give up. But it's important that you keep pushing. You don't give up, because when you give up, all is lost.
All is lost,
But
yeah.
having the confidence and the confidence in yourself too, that I
Mm-hmm.
can do this,
Mm-hmm.
and your faith in God, it will come to pass.
100%. So, is there, what would you say the process of getting this book from off of your mind to paper to being printed has been like for you? Your first book.
It was, what I must say, at times they were kind of frustrating because I'm new, so I had to seek knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I One person might tell you this thing, another person might tell you that thing, but the process, for me, I would say that I had a faith in God. I knew that my book is a good book.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of the things that propelled me, that despite the challenges that may come with getting it done, because I had to seek out so many publishers. I I had to sit down many late nights writing, putting it together, and then still have to go to work the next day. So it was a lot of sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know that you have something good to offer, you know, it gives you the passion and the desire to keep pushing. So despite the challenges, I still was confident. And also there are so many people that who were, on my side, tell me, you can do this, keep trying, keep pushing. So those are things that motivate me. And despite of the challenges, I was able to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As a believer, I am seeking to have the mind of Christ. That's my desire as a true believer of God, is to have the mind of Christ. So I would encourage persons who are interested in the book, or who have read the book, is to ensure that you read the book with the understanding that your mind matters. That is what manages your life, and all your choices and all your decisions that you are making. Ensure your mind is at the right place, because you don't want, at the end of your journey, this life that we live in, that we will be regretful of what our journey was. But at the end of our fight, we should say, as Paul, I have fought a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. So, and all that is depend upon your mindset. So if, as you read a book, train your mind, you know, bring it to the place, where you can think positive, where you can direct it in the right path, you know, and most of all, allow God to be the one, because there are two persons that are fighting for your mind, according to my belief,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the enemy, the devil, and it is God. And when the enemy is in control, your life definitely is going to be chaotic, because according to the word of God that I know, the devil comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy.
Mm-hmm.
But God come that we may have life.
Not
And,
a
you,
more
and so
abundant.
if you direct your mind towards the mind of Christ, challenges will come. Challenges will come. But at the end of your journey, you know, you would have seen that giving your mind to Christ was the best decision, because he will direct your path, he was guide. Because I can truly say that writing the book, it has helped me so much, because if you're gonna write a book, you have to live what
You
you
have to
write,
live
of
what you
course.
read.
So it has
Mm-hmm.
it has helped me in so many ways, to always be in a positive mindset. Always think upon things. There are sometimes bad thought comes to your mind, right? But I have trained my mind. That is why stress don't really, it comes, but
Yes.
it don't linger for long,
Good.
because it's not the place that I want to be, and it's not going to be
Mm-hmm.
beneficial to me. It's not going to help me. But when I begin to divert from the things that want to keep me back in life, it helped me to live such a happy life, a fulfilled life,
Amazing.
So you will
Amazing.
never find me sulk up. No, 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 no. I tell you, it do happen sometimes,
Yes,
but for a
we're
brief moment,
humans.
I redirect my
Mm-hmm.
mind,
Mm-hmm.
to the right place.
Yes, for sure, we're humans. So thank you so much for taking time out here, taking time out of your own busy schedule to share your book with us, share your thoughts with us on the Kezia Hinds Show. And if you guys are interested in purchasing The Mind Matters by Sister Stracey Grenville, you can purchase it on Amazon, or you can look out for Sister Stracey on social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Facebook mostly.
Yeah, Facebook mostly.
Facebook. Facebook mostly. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week on the Kezia Hinds Show. And before we go, as usual, I will read an affirmation from my book, 111 Positive Thoughts. Give yourself grace, and we'll see where it directs us. And it says, I am confident in my ability to create a life that I love, and the mind will help you get there. See you again next week, and remember, be kind to yourselves and kind to others. Take care.
Thank you so much,
You
Keisha.
are welcome.